Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video on my channel Hairliciously. If you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe so that you guys are updated on hair loss and hair transplant topics, as well as updates on current hair loss treatments in the pipeline. Visit my website at hairliciously.com to purchase a microneedling device, which is scientifically proven to stimulate hair growth, my low-level laser therapy cap, DHT blocking shampoo, conditioner, and serum, hair growth vitamins, and a few other products to help those who are losing hair. So in today's video, I have some exciting news that I wanted to share with you guys in regards to the topical, non-steroidal, anti-androgen KX826, also known as Pyrilutamide. A few days ago, I had finally incorporated using topical Pyrilutamide solution into my hair loss treatment stack. And I've always kind of been, debating whether to add in an effective anti-androgen to my hair loss treatment. And after just doing a lot of research and learning more and more about Pyrilutamide over the past few months, I have finally pulled the trigger, decided that I felt confident enough that this topical would be the most ideal anti-androgen for me. Now, there are obviously a few other anti-androgens that people use for hair loss. One of the common ones being RU-5841. But Pyrilutamide, in my opinion, has been by far one of my most favorites and also most effective anti-androgens. And, I've already talked about this topic in a lot of my previous videos. So let me just do a quick recap on Pyrilutamide for those who are new to the channel and haven't really been following Kintor Pharmaceuticals' progress. And basically, we have two FDA-approved hair loss treatment medications that are currently available in the US. First one is finasteride, which is a 5-AR inhibitor. It lowers scalp and systemic DHT levels. And we have Minoxidil, which is a growth stimulant. We currently do not have any FDA-approved hair loss medications that directly targets the androgen receptor. And this is where potentially Pyrilutamide can come in and fill that void and give us another arsenal that we can add to our hair loss treatment stack to slow down the progression of androgen alopecia. Now, because anti-androgens can prevent testosterone, DHT, and also endogenous androgens from binding to androgen receptors in the hair follicles without significantly altering the hormonal profile, the chances of Pyrilutamide going systemic is very minimal, and it can also potentially open up doors for people who may have experienced adverse side effects from finasteride or dutasteride, or for those who have not responded or no longer respond favorably to different types of treatment. And because it does work in a different mechanism of action, you guys can easily combine it with a 5-AR inhibitor and a growth stimulant like Minoxidil to maximize your hair growth potential. A 5-AR inhibitor like finasteride or dutasteride is going to work in slowing down hair loss in the majority of users. But you also have to realize that there are still going to be remnants of scalp and systemic androgens that are circulating in the system, let alone a spike in testosterone levels from 5-AR inhibitors, which is still going to be androgenic in nature. For someone with aggressive androgen alopecia, or for someone who no longer responds to treatment, such as finasteride or dutasteride, throwing in an anti-androgen to target the androgen receptors from binding to androgens can immensely help slow down the progression of hair loss and also give you guys that extra layer of protection that 5-AR inhibitors are not able to offer. And if you watched my prior videos on Pyrilutamide, Kintor Pharmaceutical has released their phase 2 clinical trial results a few months back, and as you guys already know, it's been looking very promising. Safety and efficacy were tested in 120 Chinese male subjects between NORD 3 vertex to I think NORD 5, and it was determined that 5 milligram per milliliter or 0.5% concentration of Pyrilutamide applied twice a day yielded the highest efficacy for increased hair count at nearly 23 hairs per centimeter squared after 6 months of treatment. Now, to kind of put this in perspective, studies on topical and also oral finasteride after 24 weeks of treatment were about 20 to 21 hairs per centimeter squared. So the efficacy in terms of increased hair count with Pyrilutamide actually surpasses that of finasteride and is even comparable to that of 0.5 milligram dutasteride. Now, this is incredible because we now know that Pyrilutamide is even more efficacious than finasteride, and this is all with a different mechanism of action, which means that you guys can obviously stack it on with other hair loss treatments like Minoxidil and other 5-AR inhibitors, and you're very likely to see even more improvement in hair growth. Now, as far as safety of Pyrilutamide, after 14 days of topical application, the systemic exposure of Pyrilutamide and its metabolite reached steady state in vivo. The transdermal blood concentrations were low in all groups, with detectable Pyrilutamide blood concentration levels ranging from just 0.3 to 4.1 nanograms per milliliter. And also its metabolite blood concentration levels ranging from 0.4 to 10.4 nanograms per milliliter. So obviously, it still does go systemic, but at extremely low levels. And the good thing is that none of these subjects had experienced any adverse side effects pertaining to things like sexual dysfunction, low libido, cognitive issues. And the most common side effect was due to skin irritation on the scalp, and overall was well tolerated. Phase 3 clinical trials are still ongoing, and it's going to include a randomized double-blinded placebo-controlled parameters. It has over 400 male subjects with a duration treatment of 24 weeks. And then finally, a primary endpoint of change in number of non-vellus target area hair count from baseline to week 24. We will probably get an update for phase 3 sometime early next year. And if all goes as planned, I speculate that we can expect official commercialization of Pyrilutamide as early as late 2023 to early 2024. But I was actually lucky enough to source Pyrilutamide. For those who are interested, you can purchase it directly on my website. It's probably one of the cheapest Pyrilutamide solutions that you're going to be able to find. I have the link in the description box for those who are interested for research purposes only, as it's not FDA approved. And this is the same Pyrilutamide that Kintor is testing out at 0.5% topical application with ethanol and propylene glycol as its vehicle solution. Pyrilutamide powder was third-party tested and yielded over 99% purity. You can find the certificate of analysis on my website, and just based on anecdotal results and reports from people who have already been using Pyrilutamide into their hair loss treatment regimen, the majority of the response has been very favorable, with many claiming that it has literally stopped their hair loss, or at least to a good extent. And I am planning on using this long term, in addition to my topical dutasteride, topical minoxidil, microneedling that I am currently on. And I do have to give you guys an update on topical dutasteride, as it's already been a few months. So my next video is probably going to be on topical dutasteride update. But overall, super excited to see what results Pyrilutamide is going to give. And I'm also really looking forward to even more promising data from phase 3 clinical trials, as it's going to include a larger sample size. Now, I know that a few of you have previously asked me why I am not taking RU5841, let alone things like bicalutamide, flutamide, spironolactone, clascoterone, as an anti-androgen. And to be honest, RU was something that I was actually considering a few years back, but I decided not to do so, mainly because there weren't any definite clinical studies on human trials to test for safety and efficacy. And there are anecdotal experiences from RU5841 users from various hair loss forums, Trestless, who do claim that it has worked well in treating their androgen alopecia. But at this point, Pyrilutamide is definitely the winner. There's tangible phase 1 and phase 2 human clinical trials that were done confirming safety and efficacy. And the crazy thing is that it's about 4 times stronger than RU. Now, RU's binding affinity for the AR is on par, if not slightly greater than that of testosterone. But Pyrilutamide has an even higher binding affinity than DHT for the androgen receptor. So this alone puts Pyrilutamide as a far more effective treatment as an anti-androgen, as it is going to outcompete DHT completely. And to give you guys a quick comparison, Pyrilutamide binds to the androgen receptor with a very high affinity with an IC of 0.28 nanomolar. And this measures a drug's efficacy, and the lower it is, the more potent. Whereas, for example, bicalutamide has an IC50 of 3.1. RU has an IC50 of 1.1. So overall, I think this is probably one of the best nuclear stacks out there. And if you're really serious about treating hair loss and looking for something powerful enough to potentially reverse it or halt it, this very well might be it. A low dose of dutasteride or minoxidil, microneedling, and pairing it up with a powerful anti-androgen like Pyrilutamide is more than likely to stop hair loss in its tracks for the majority of hair loss sufferers. I'm nevertheless super excited to be using Pyrilutamide, and will definitely keep you guys updated on my progress. But that basically wraps up this video. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on Pyrilutamide. If you started using it already, let me know how it's been working out for you. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Take care, guys.